I don't know what the industry is doing. I keep my costs to a minimum and pass the savings along to my customers. An owner with no employees and less overhead can still keep a decent profit margin. I buy used, low R equipment, didn't hire Juan and Jose, don't waste money on vinyl wraps and advertising. I offer a good value service, do everything I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. Some other operators don't like that I cost less, but then again, I didn't make them go out and buy that new truck and new Skag Cheetah, LOL. He's telling us that he goes out and buys less expensive stuff, which is fine. You don't have to buy brand new.
None of that comment matters unless you actually determined your pricing based on those comments within that comment, right?
Correct.
Like if he doesn't know how much it cost, just because you bought a used piece of equipment with low hours that costs less than a new Skag Cheetah, LOL, doesn't mean that you shouldn't know your cost per hour for that mower.
I don't know what the industry is doing.
Don't say you don't know what the industry is doing when you don't know what you're doing. If you truly don't, which, like I said, I'm willing to bet every penny I have that you don't know how much it costs you per hour for that used low hour piece of equipment, mower, whatever
Correct.
it may be.
I think you're right on target with that.
And if you do, then that's perfectly fine.
Correct.
You can't tell me I'm making X percent if you don't know what your costs are.
You really haven't. Yeah, because to the point, not to keep reiterating the same thing, but the fact of the matter is, just because you start out with a lower cost on a cost of the equipment going in, here's to your point exactly, Daniel. When you start out with a lower cost going in, you're going to have expense somewhere on equipment, either direct cost of purchase price or maintenance and repairs and downtime on buying older equipment that's got to be maintained.
Right.
And where more than a new piece of equipment does. So where a lot of people get confused on the two is they'll say, and I've heard it a zillion times, and I'm sure we'll probably hear it a zillion more times, but they say, well, doesn't matter because I work on it myself.
Right.
So they're not valuing.
They're not paying themselves for their labor.
They're not paying themselves. They feel like because they're not writing a check or using a credit card or whatever, how you want to pay an equipment dealer or somebody to work on it, they're not looking at that as an expense. Well, it's my time. I do, I'll put the maintenance into it. I'll put the belt on or the hoses.
I'll do it for free
hydraulic
because
motor.
I can't charge for it within my pricing because I got to keep my prices low.
Yes. So, they don't value their time.
It's like this person thinks they have discovered something that is so revolutionary. All you have to do to make money is do the things he said.
Buy used equipment.
Buy used equipment, don't advertise, charge less, and you'll have a successful business. I don't know what you guys are doing out there. I don't know how you guys are failing. All you got to do is charge less and, not buy cheap equipment and not hire anybody. This was a great comment because it literally covered 95% of the things we talk about here on Profits Unlimited. Yeah. And it was perfect. It was like the perfect example of almost what not to do, or like how not to think about your business.
Right. That is an absolute statement of fact. We couldn't have wrote this any better ourselves of how not to run your business.
Right.
All things included.
There's certain parts that aren't inherently wrong, like buying not new equipment. There's nothing inherently wrong about that. There's nothing inherently wrong about not having a vinyl wrapping or not having an employee. Nothing inherently wrong with any of those things. It's the reasoning and rationale that this person's using as to why those things are wrong. That is why it's wrong.
That's why it's wrong. Yeah.